late 60s. A slice.
Was it 1969?
Yeah, funnily enough.
Sure.
Late 60s at some point, yeah. I don't know exactly. But you know that thing about records being much cooler than you are? This one's great. It's from another era. I would urge people to listen to the lyrics, not something I usually do, because it's gloriously politically incorrect. But don't worry, no naughty words, Stu, nothing like that. But it's a slice of sort of soul, rock, psychedelic, and it's got some horns in it as well, so even you'll like it.
Dan?
Yes.
Title and artist, please.
Yesterday's Folks was the name of the song. Us 69, the name of the band. They were sort of a American-Mexican crossover. I've seen pictures of them. They look fantastic with these huge bandito moustaches and all that sort of thing.
I think you should grow one of those.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, though, isn't it? I mean, I feel... I walk down the street listening to that, and I feel, a bit hard, a bit of a sort of a bandit type, I'm an outlaw, don't mess with me. But you know me. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I couldn't grow a moustache if you said to me, grow it for Christmas. Now...
Really?
It still wouldn't be in place.
What would it just be? A little bit of bum fluff?
Little bit of bum fluff, yeah. A little wispy bit of blonde hair atop the upper lip. Very, very poor at moustache growing. But I'm excellent at choosing records like that.
Do you think? Do you think you could grow a Hitler moustache?
No, because that's no easier.
Have a try.
No, all right, I'll give it a go.
I'd like to see what the looks that you get. I'd like to see, we'll mount a camera on your head just to see what looks you get. I wonder if they'll be looking at the camera or the moustache. I haven't thought that through.
No, that's true.
Maybe don't bother.
Yeah, all right.
So, of course, we in the studio like to suggest music to you, the listeners, but of course you can return the favour to us, and you can go on the website and follow various routes normally involving my face, and you can suggest tracks to us, and someone who has done that is on the line now. Is it Caroline?
It is.
Hello, Caroline. Where are you calling from?
Hello. I'm calling from Sheffield.
Sheffield. Now, were you hit by the floods?
I actually live on top of a hill, so
Clever.
I'm very happy at the top of the hill.
Were you rubbing your hands with glee as you looked at all the other Sheffieldians just swimming away?
I did, yeah. I did take in a friend, though, who got a bit flooded, so I did my humanitarian bit for the people of Sheffield, anyway.
I saw on the news a lot of them were living in sort of caravanettes.
Yeah.
I'd like to have seen a couple of bands get down there and make it into a little mini festival.
maybe.
Once again, Sheffield have missed an opportunity there. They've got some great bands from Sheffield. Where was Richard Hawley? Nothing, probably on tour. And so, Caroline, what kind of music are you into? What's your vibe?
I don't know. I like the song that I've chosen is kind of a little bit noisy. I'm quite into that, but I like. I'm a huge Beach Boys fan as well, so any kind of pop music, anything in between noise and pop, I guess.
Anything between noise and pop. That's quite a sphere. Yeah. What? And we got to know you at all. Can you give us a rough, sort of vague summary of who you are and what your life's goal is?
Oh gosh.
What do you do for a living? That's probably easier.
Well, I've actually been unemployed for 2 months. I used to be a manager of a bookshop.
Well, no one's reading books anymore. They're all watching
YouTube.
No,
they've given up, sadly. But I'm starting a new job this week, actually helping people who have been affected by the floods. So
that's very good.
I'm kind of profiteering from it, as some people say.
That's evil. That's evil.
But yeah, I know, but hopefully I'll be doing some good as well, helping people with their insurance claims, so yeah.
Oh, I see, right. And do you, as I've always wondered this, because I used to get very anxious starting a new job, because it's all about making a first impression, isn't it? Will you be thinking carefully about what you're going to wear?
Yeah, I have been actually, yeah. And I'm also being really careful. I have 2 cats that are molting everywhere, so I'm really trying to make sure that all of my clothes don't get covered in cat hair, because I'm just going to be known as like that cat woman, aren't I? So
crazy Freddy cat woman.
Very conscious.
Because whenever I've worked in offices, I've noticed when a new woman arrives, the other women, they might be smiling, they're checking them up and down.
Yeah.
Start with the shoes, pan upwards.
It's the women you're really competing with, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Of course. And are you sort of young and funky? Do you feel you can blow some of the older chicks out of the water?
Well, I'm 26. That's reasonably young, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know about funky.
Maybe go in wearing one of those sort of slightly rock and roll T-shirts. I saw one once, and it had a picture of Hitler and a picture of George Bush, and it was like same person, different decade. Maybe you could go in there and be a little bit kind of controversial, shake things up a bit.
I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Maybe. Yeah.
Otherwise, just a trouser suit. One of the two. So what tune have you chosen for us?
The song I've chosen is called Cold Days from the Birdhouse by a group called the Twilight Sad.
Now, I did have a cheeky listen to the Twilight Sad album, and I quite enjoyed it, but can you describe them? Can you summarise the sound?
Oh, it's kind of... it's the kind of music that doesn't really get played a lot on the radio, I guess. It's just a lot of people, it is just noise, but I think it's just really beautiful, stunning music. It's like you're shouting to a lot of people, but I think it's just fantastic.
All right, let's have a listen to Cold Days from the Birdhouse by Twilight Sad, and we'll come back to you in a second, Caroline.
Ditto.
Caroline, are you still there? Hello, Caroline.
Hello.
Thank you very much for Twilight Sad. I'm afraid we've had to cut it a little short because we've got to squeeze in some live music from some festival or other that I'm not attending. But I've enjoyed Twilight Sad. They remind me a little of very much Arcade Fire, of course, very much in people's thoughts at all times if they listen to Six Music. But thank you very much indeed for talking to us, and good luck with the job.
Thank you very much.
What were you doing for the rest of the day?
Well, I've just baked some brownies. I'm going to take them around a friend's house, I think.
That's exactly the kind of friend you want, isn't it? Someone who bakes brownies and then brings them to you. That's fantastic. If you want to pop a few in the post, don't, because we'll think it's from a crazy person. We'll just throw them away. But thank you very much indeed, Caroline. I really appreciate you calling.
Steve, bye.
Cheers, bye-bye. Caroline Chartier there from Sheffield, and she's recommended a tune to us, and you can do the same if you so desire by, as I say, going to the website and figuring it out from there. You're all computer literate, you'll understand how it happens. Last week, Rufus, you had an absolute stinker when you tried to play us a tune, and are you going to redeem yourself this week?
I am, Steve. I'm going to play the track that I intended to play last week by John Martin. Unknown to me, he had redone this wonderful track, Couldn't Love You More, with some sort of 1980s saxophone style-y, and we got into a terrible mess, and it was your idea to just slam it and stop it, which I'm glad we did. This version of Couldn't Love You More is from the 1977 album One World, which was recorded outside, and it speaks for itself. It's a really beautiful piece of music.
Let's hear it. Well, it always seems odd to me that someone with the taste to make that record can also then make a sort of mid-80s, drum and sax tune, as we heard a little snatch of last week.
I know that John Martin was quite involved with Phil Collins, who played drums for him, and I think produced one or two of his records, and I think he was certainly overproduced by Collins and by one or two other people.
The 80s ruined so many people for such a long period of time. Okay, before the news, we can just squeeze in another live track from the Indian Summer Festival up in Glasgow. Here's Polytechnic, recorded live doing Cold Hearted Business. Recorded yesterday on the Six Music Hub stage at the Indian Summer Festival in Glasgow. That's Polytechnic and Cold Hearted Business, and there will be more from Indian Summer on the Guy Garvey show at 8 o'clock this evening on Six Music. He's got a lot of live music. He's actually down there at the festival, and he'll have stuff from Midlake, Spiritualised and the Flaming Lips. Back after the news. BBC Six Music, the Steve Show with me, Stephen Merchant, and my cronies, and that's Lovin' Spoonful, What a Day for a Daydream from 1966.
Steve, hearing the Loving Spoonful again, and wasn't it good to hear that? Reminded me.
Thanks very much. That was very
thanks. That was very Radio 1, wasn't it? Reminded me that the music trivia fans will know that there are 3 bands who are named after male ejaculate.
Oh.
One is the Loving Spoonful. Jude, you know the second one, don't you?
10cc.
10cc,
yeah.
And a friend of mine was asking me this question and said, "And who's the third one?" And I said quite innocently, "Take That."
Wow.
Yeah. Turns out it's not Take That.
Is it not Take That?
No. Dan, did you have an idea about who it might be?
I believe there's a singer-songwriter called Dick Gravy.
Dick Gravy?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, I've enjoyed his work.
Yeah, very much so.
The third band is neither of those. It's actually an obscure American band called Thin White Rope.
Thin White Rope?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there you go.
Maybe I'm thinking we should put out a cry to listeners if they've got ideas for who it might have been, but it feels like
it would be
something that's inappropriate.
Yeah, it'd be the lowest that we've ever stooped in getting people to text or email in, I think, wouldn't it?
So, 64046, Stephen.6music. Yes, thank you very much indeed. We were talking earlier about sort of unnecessary ailments, and then we moved on to self-surgery, and we neglected to catch up with Sammy and her father, who... I mean, we feel like we know your father, and he's an extraordinary man, and I'm tempted to put a picture of him on the website, but at the same time, I like the fact that we've created in our heads our own image of him.
I'll throw these things out there. He wears cowboy boots. He's almost the same height as Dan, and he has longer hair than me. Well, he doesn't. I used to be able to say that. Mine's outdone him. There you go, Dad. 1 up.
But he performed some self-surgery.
It really makes me shudder because he's still got a deformed little finger. He was working on the engine of his van, and they've got kind of really, really exposed. It doesn't get any more than exposed, really. It's got an exposed fan, quite large, and it spins incredibly quickly. And it was on, and he was doing something. He caught his little finger. It ripped it almost in half. He refused to go to the hospital
course
to
he
do
did.
anything about it because he's a man, and he made me eat 2 ice lollies, put 1 stick at each side of his finger, strapped it up, and almost got blood poisoning. There was serious infection of his blood and had to be taken into hospital.
But what I love about that story, is the fact that he's a proper father. In that, even though he's in terrible agony, he still made you eat the ice lollies rather than just scrape off the ice. It's, I'm not wasting 8 pence. That's
True.
fantastic.
Were they
He
mini
didn't even
milks?
clean them. It was
Eat,
like-
woman, eat.
One was slightly orange, one was slightly pink, and he had them on each side of his finger.
Did they have jokes on them?
I don't. I'm probably now in his finger now. Just what do you call a cow? Written down his bent little finger. It's really unattractive.
What's the rest of that joke? It says,
Yeah, come on, quickly.
I think of a punchline for that.
what do you call a cow? I don't know. Daisy.
What do healthy cows eat? Muesli, isn't it? Probably.
Brilliant.
Come on.
Come on, guy, come on.
Work with him here. That's fantastic. Well, yes, thank you very much for that. Did we have any others worth mentioning, Har?
No.
Thank you. I pretty much figured that would be the case. People have got better stuff to do on a Sunday than just listen to us. Sorry, I mean text in. We are fans here, we've discovered, of Spoon. The band Spoon. We've played a track in the past, we've enjoyed it, and other people have played them and we've liked that. And here's one from their new album, which I think is called Gaga Gaga. And it is, I'm not making that up. And here's Spoon with a track called You Got Your Cherry Bomb. Spoon, You Got Your Cherry Bomb, from their current album Gaga Gaga Gaga. And you might want to check that out. So we've discovered that we think Pearl Jam may be another one.
Yeah.
Can that be confirmed?
I think it can be confirmed, as can the fact that Steve Wright's putting together a clip show with all of these bands and going to call it Top of the Pop Shops.
Oh, nice. Might that also feature The Wedding Present?
Nice. It can be quite oblique, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
We need to
It's quite
thank
fun.
Dan and Claire, listeners who emailed in with the Pearl Jam ref, by the way.
But yeah, well, I guess we've started this now. We may as well give out the text number again, 64046. It'll fill up 15 minutes. Harry, don't give me that. Oh, now anything's rude, isn't it? That'll fill up 15 minutes. Oh. When everything becomes rude. It's weird how sometimes you make a blunder like that. And I remember when I was young and I went into, my parents sent me, I went in front of everyone, went out the counter, 3 cod pieces. Oh, everyone was in hysterics. I had no idea what they were laughing at. Actually, it wasn't what I said. It was just they were just pointing and laughing at me. Unfortunately, that was in the days when I used to wear a bow tie to school. Harry, you are choosing the final tune for us in terms of the people here choosing songs. We're not just going to end. Either it's 15 minutes long, or we're just going to shoot off early because we're bored. But
Yeah, it's
no,
not
what have you got for
15
us?
minutes long. It's a track by a band called The Clientele. They've been going for 10 years, based in London, but hideously overlooked in the UK. The latest album hasn't even come out over here yet. It's only been released in the States. You can buy it on the interweb. This track is from their album, which is called God Save the Clientele, and it's called Bookshop Casanova.
Harry, that was your choice. Who, what, why?
It's The Clientele, Bookshop Casanova, because it's good.
Interesting. What about Sieg Spunknik?
Oh.
Come on!
Juicy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Hey! Oh, this could run and run, this one.
That is Sony award winning, isn't it?
That's Radio Gold. The magnificently paranoid Who Is He and What Is He to You by Bill Withers from the 70s. And you've got a super posh man who's also an actor in the room when he says who is he and what is he to you is iambic pentameter.
It is, Steve. It's the natural stress rhythms of the English language. 5 stresses of 2 syllables each. Who is he and what is he to you? To be or not to be, that is the question.
It sounds marvellous when you say it like that, but when you were counted out on your fingers, you looked mildly silly.
That's beautiful. Thanks very much indeed. You are one classy gent. And when's that sex death scene on again?
Not till October.
We're all making a date with that one. We've got a couple of tunes we want to squeeze in before the end of the show, and one of them is this, The Fiery Furnaces. I think it's from their debut album, Too Fat for You. That popped up on my iPod the other day, and I thought, yeah, do you know what? That's worth a spin on the Steve Show. It's the Fiery Furnaces from their debut album, Gallows Birds Bark, and the track Two Fat Feet. And it's a kind of eccentric sound that you might hear on Stuart McConey's Freak Zone, which follows us after this. Thank you very much, guys. That's pretty much it, I'm afraid, for the Steve Show this week. Thanks to Harry, to Tiny Dan,